Welcome to lesson number 3 from 4 work. In our second lesson, I was looking at the types of variation, and right now I would like us to look at the causes of variation. These variations which are seen between organisms may be caused by the 3 factors, that is, genetic factor, environmental factor, or maybe a combination of the two rather. For the case of genetic factor, that one is caused during the process of reproduction, and we're going to look at how that arises. And for the case of environmental factor, it is caused by the hostile environmental factors which may cause an individual's body to change its genetic makeup so as to enable it to survive within that environment. For the case of an environmental factor, I may come to look at it later on when we'll be looking at a topic known as evolution. That's when we'll be able to see how evolution takes place within the body of an organism, hence making it to mutate against some factors within the environment. But right now, I would like us to look at the genetic factor. The genetic factor now drives us towards the process of reproduction. During the process of reproduction, there is the formation of gamete. There's a process of gamete formation which takes place in 2 ways. Gamete formation takes place through the process of crossing over, and independent assortment. Crossing over is the process whereby genes are exchanged from one chromosome to the other. We'll come to look at chromosomes just in a few seconds' time. These chromosomes are found within the cell. In a specific organelle known as the nucleus. These chromosomes contain genes on them, and these genes may be exchanged during the process of crossing over. We may be having 2 different gametes, and for the process of crossing over to take place, these gametes must come into contact with one another. And you will be able to notice that according to this diagram that I'm just showing you right here, we have chromosome A and chromosome B. I think you're able to see chromosome A is right here. Then this is my chromosome B. Chromosome A I have not painted it, while for chromosome B, I've painted it blue so that you are able to notice the differences between the two. When these chromosomes come into contact with each other at this stage over here, that is in my stage 2, they come into contact with one another. We refer to that as association of the chromosomes. So we have said that the chromosomes associate. They've come into contact with one another at this point over here. When they come into contact with one another, we refer to it as association. When they dissociate, that is now separation in the 3rd stage over here. When they dissociate, you'll realize that the first chromosome, which was not having the paint on it, have obtained some paints from the first one, and the other one has now let the paint to get into the other chromosome, which was lacking the same. In this regard, these paints are denoting some genes which are found on different chromosomes. Therefore, the types of genes which are found in my chromosome B are totally different from the ones that are found in chromosome A. When they come into contact with one another, there will be the process of crossing over, that is now exchange of genetic material. When they exchange the genetic material, we later on come up with a different type of chromosome at the end. These chromosomes now, you will realize that the first one have obtained some characteristics which it was lacking. If chromosome A will now be used in the formation of an offspring, and another chromosome A, or a chromosome which looked like A, and it did not go through the process of crossing over, they will end up forming individuals which have got some bit of variation, meaning there were some genes which migrated to the other chromosome. And that explains the reason as to why in a family you will find that there are some offsprings which look alike, but in a very close observation you realize that there are some bit of variations which involve maybe type of the earlobes, type of the noses, or maybe shape of the nose, color of the eyes, among others. Such kind of variations are just some few examples that we are going to meet later on. Let me also talk about I've mentioned the word chromosomes, and I talked about it, and I think it's also very important if you understand that the chromosomes are made up of some small, single strand of chromosome which is referred to as chromatid. As you can see here, I have some diagrams of chromatid. I think you can see chromatid 1 and 2. They are 2 in number. When these chromatids are fused together, they form a single chromosome down here. The chromosomes are joined at this part here. These ones join them together, hence forming a single chromosome. They were known as chromatids, but once they have been joined to form a single chromosome, then they form a chromosome, and they are joined at the part known as centromere. I think you're able to see the centromere, and the two that form a single chromosome are referred to as sister chromatid. A chromosome that appears as a single strand is referred to as a chromatid, and it is defined as a single strand of chromosome which has not yet replicated. Replication is the process of multiplication. When this one remains in this manner, it may end up multiplying so that it forms a chromosome. Apart from the two causes of variation that I mentioned, that is gamete formation and fertilization, the third one is mutation. Mutation is the spontaneous change in the genetic makeup of a living organism, and this one is now initiated by the environment. So this one is an environmental factor. And during the process of mutation, there are some changes within the genes which are caused by the environmental factor, and the body is trying to adjust so that it can continue to survive within a certain environment. And the substance that causes mutation is referred to as a mutagen. Examples of mutagens are ultraviolet rays and some radiations which may be caused by maybe disintegration of some radioactive isotopes. That is, when we're talking about the nuclear energy, those ones may also cause mutation within the body of an organism. A mutant, the word mutant refers to an organism that has mutated. Therefore, a mutant is always different from the other organism which has not yet mutated due to difference in their genetic makeup. That marks the end of my lesson number 3. Let's meet in lesson number 4 when we'll be talking about the chromosome in relation to gamete formation process. Thank you.